Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Amityville BOE Free School District combined meeting. Today's date is May 18th, 2026, and the time is now 5:43, and I'm calling the meeting to order at this time. In attendance at the meeting tonight is myself, Board President Lisa Johnson, Second Vice President Chris Naring, and Trustees Carol Seahawk and Leslie Krentz. It's anticipated that Megan Messman may be coming to the meeting as well. And Martin is absent at this time. Also in attendance at the meeting is our Superintendent, Dr. Gina Talbot, our Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources, Dr. Lundell, our Assistant Superintendent of Finance and Operations, Joe Gadon, and our Assistant Superintendent for Function, Mary Stevens. Also in attendance is Legal Counsel tonight, John Keenan, as well as John Gross. The time is now 5:44. Can I have a motion to go into executive session for update regarding negotiations, CSCA, and particular person's employment history?
Motion.
Second. Just hearing us first, Leslie Krentz is second, and then also I'm going to say advice from counsel. Correct, John?
Correct.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 4-0. We resume open at 7:30. Thank you.
Yes, so just a moment. To the Amityville Union Free School District Board Education meeting. Today's date is May 18th, and we're resuming open now at 7:30 p.m. Please note the exits closest to you, and there's no smoking in school grounds, and please silence your cell phones and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
The flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation, God.
Dr. Talbot, turn the meeting over to you. Good evening, ladies. And before we get started, I just want to say to you that the Board of Education had scheduled a meeting last week on May 13th. Unfortunately, we were unable to obtain a quorum, and the canceling of the meeting impacted the hiring of election workers, time-sensitive tenure packages, and several HR matters. Tonight, we have a quorum, and we're having the meeting tonight. So thank you for attending.
Tonight, we are going to ask if our board members who are present would join us at the podium for a very special time of acknowledgement. Tonight, we are delighted to celebrate a significant milestone in the careers of several remarkable members of our school community. Achieving tenure is a momentous occasion, and we are proud to honor our dedicated educators and leaders. First and foremost, we pay tribute to two of our assistant principals. Their visionary leadership and unwavering commitment to our school's success have been pivotal in shaping a nurturing and dynamic learning environment. Their profound impact on our students, staff, and families is a testament to their exceptional educational leadership. At this time, our Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction, Ms. Mary Stevens, will read a certificate of tenure aloud, which will be presented by the Board of Ed President momentarily. We're going to conduct the business regarding the resolutions for tenure, and then we will continue with the celebration.
Board of Education tonight have a motion to amend the agenda to focus on agenda items 2A down through 2K. So I can motion to amend the agenda to move agenda items 2A to 2K up to 1B.
You mean 3B2?
I'm sorry, yeah, 3B2, 3B2A to 3B2K. Can I move them, the motion to move up to 1C? So make it 1C1, John? 1C1. Okay, so the motion is to move the agenda items 3B2A to 3B2K up to 1C.1.
Motion.
Second. Christina is first, Carol Seal is second, all those in favor? Aye, motion carries 4-0. Can I have a motion for agenda items 3B2A to 3B2K?
Motion.
Second. Christina is first, Carol Seal is second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries 4-0. Congratulations.
At this time, we will have the acknowledgement of certificates. Good evening. For our administrators, we will be awarding certificates that read the Amityville Union Free School District certifies that, and each of their names will be read, having demonstrated dedication, professionalism, and a steadfast commitment to the students of the Amityville Union Free School District, is hereby awarded tenure with all the rights and responsibilities pertaining thereto in recognition of the outstanding service and enduring commitment to excellence in education. It is with honor we present the first certificate to Assistant Principal Denise Radman.
Yeah.
And just in the nick of time, impeccable timing, Mr. Cord, Kenneth Cord, Assistant. Next, we extend our deepest gratitude and congratulations to our teachers. Their unwavering dedication, innovative methods, and steadfast commitment to our students' growth and development are truly awe-inspiring. They are the architects of young minds fostering a love of learning that transcends time. At this time, Ms. Stevens will read a certificate of tenure aloud, and it will be presented by our Board of Ed President. My apologies. Before we move on to ATA, we would like to acknowledge and invite our AAA President, Mr. Evan Farkas, to come up and acknowledge his members.
Good evening, everyone. Congratulations to our tenure candidates. Mr. Cord stood outside for 30 minutes waiting for that moment. So thank you, Mr. Cord. Congratulations to Denise Ragland and Ken Cord on their well-deserved tenure appointments. We are proud to celebrate these two dedicated, inspiring, and hardworking school leaders whose commitment to our students, staff, and school community make a difference every single day. Thank you both for your leadership, passion, and continued dedication to the Amityville community. Wishing you continued success in the years to come. Congratulations.
It is with pleasure we award certificates that have the same wording to our members of the Amityville Teachers Association. Starting with Mr. Joseph D'Amato Garcia. Mr. Garcia was unable to join us tonight, but certainly warrants a round of applause for this. Next, Jacqueline Brightfeller. Melissa Gibner Lipman. Natalie Kunch. Jennifer Morris. Kristen Zanchelli Tutford. Rita King.
At this time, we invite our ATA President, Mr. Nikhil Wolf, to come up and acknowledge his ATA members who've been tenured tonight.
Good evening, everyone, and congratulations to all of the appointees this evening. Tonight, we gather to celebrate a very special and meaningful milestone, the achievement of tenure in the field of education for our administrators, for our teachers, for our TAs, for all of the staff who happen to be here tonight, who are being bestowed what should be considered a great honor. Earning tenure is not simply about years of service. It represents dedication, consistency, professionalism, and an unwavering commitment to students and the school community. It reflects hard work, perseverance, and passion that educators demonstrate every single day, often going above and beyond to ensure that students are supported academically, socially, and emotionally. Throughout this journey, you have made a positive impact on the lives of students, families, and colleagues. I know this is supposed to be for teachers, but this applies to everybody who's being honored tonight. The work of an educator extends far beyond the classroom. The encouragement you provide, the lessons you teach, and the relationships you build help shape futures and inspire the next generation. This milestone is also a reminder that success is never achieved alone. To your families, thank you for your patience, support, and encouragement throughout this journey. Your sacrifices and understanding have helped make this accomplished possible. To your colleagues and peers, thank you for your collaboration, mentorship, and shared commitment to excellence in education. The support educators provide one another strengthens not only individuals, but their school community. To the administrators and leadership within the district, thank you for your guidance, support, and belief in the important work being done for our students every day. And to all of you honorees, achieving tenure is a significant professional accomplishment and a reflection of the trust, respect, and confidence you have earned through your dedication and your service. There were individuals who were honored, who were bestowed the honor of tenure earlier on this year, and I just wanted to take an opportunity to acknowledge them as well. We have Antonia Spady. We can fly. That's okay. Khadija Alai. Rebecca Farmer. And Amanda Iavino. Christina Kaplan. And Melanie McKenna.
Thank you. This Kaplan is actually graduating tonight. We are also honored to acknowledge our teacher assistants. Their hard work, patience, and support are crucial to our student scholars' daily learning experiences. They are often the unsung heroes in our classrooms, providing individualized attention and care that makes a world of difference in the lives of our students. At this time, we will acknowledge them with a certificate, followed by the invitation of our CSEA 2 President, Christina Seals, who will come up and acknowledge members of her unit.
It is with pleasure we recognize Jada Davis August. Irina Popovich. Previously appointed tenure in November, Stephanie Germanicos. And awarded tenure in October, Tedessa Iliascoli.
Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to congratulate everyone on receiving your tenure this evening. Thank you all for your dedication to all the children in the Amityville School District every single day. Always remember, your dedication will never go unnoticed. Once again, thank you for all your hard work and dedication.
At this time, would the families of our tenure candidates please stand to be recognized? Congratulations to our tenured assistant principals, teachers, and teaching assistants. Once again, your passion, your dedication, and your hard work inspire us all and make our school a better place. So we celebrate you and Mr. Grant, would you Tom, is it okay to stay here and please want to take a picture or would you rather us here? Okay. Okay. AP, could you, we don't have a slide for this occasion. Maybe we should just move the.
Chris,
this-
in front, just cover. Right over. Thank you.
Thanks. Makes it easier not being a bright light.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna take about a 15-20 minute recess to recognize and honor the individuals. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Careful, I might be replacing you.
Anytime. I'm taking a break, so
At this time, it is now 8:02. Dr. Talbot, I'm gonna leave the meeting with you.
So good evening once again to faculty, staff, colleagues, and community. We would like to begin by presenting the superintendent's report and share just a little bit of happenings across our district. I would like to begin by congratulating our talented scholar artists whose work is featured on our website, the 2026 Spring Art Showcase. Our art teachers created a beautiful virtual presentation highlighting the creativity and talent of students in grades pre-K through 12. We also congratulate the students who proudly represented our district at the Long Island Youth Summit. A special thank you goes out to all of our art teachers for the time and dedication they put into creating this showcase. Northwest Elementary recently hosted a beautiful spring concert and art show, while Northeast Elementary celebrated its annual Mother's Day tea for pre-kindergarten families. Northeast also held its pre-K prom, bringing together students, families, PTA members, staff, class parents, and administrators in a heartfelt celebration of this important milestone in our students' early educational journey. At the secondary level, Amityville Memorial High School hosted its annual College Decision Day on May 1st, celebrating the class of 2026 and their future plans. Students proudly wore apparel representing their chosen colleges and universities, while staff joined in by wearing colors from their own alma mater. The event was live streamed by the Amityville Broadcasting Network and showcased our students' next steps and intended majors as they signed the class of 2026 commemorative billboard. We are also proud of our student athletes who continue signing with colleges and receiving scholarships in sports, including soccer, basketball, baseball, and flag football. Congratulations to all students who participated in the NISA this past weekend and to our orchestra for earning gold distinction. We also extend congratulations to our track team, which will compete in the county championships on May 27th at Kings Park. District-wide, we have completed most of our grades 3 through 8 New York State assessments. Park Elementary and Edmund W. Miles Middle School have been busy focusing on instructional assessment. Advanced placement exams have been underway at the high school, and we are now preparing for the upcoming Regents examination period. Please note that the quarter 4 progress reporting period ends on May 21st, and some upcoming events include the high school spring concert and art showcase on May 20th, as well as the Northwest Elementary Parent Workshop at 6 p.m. that evening. Thank you to our student scholars, our staff, families, and community for their continued support and dedication to the Amityville School District. And as a reminder, the board vote and trustee election is held tomorrow. The voting sites are the Amityville High School and Northeast Elementary School, and the polls are open from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. We encourage everyone to come out and cast their vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Talbot.
At this time, we will have a presentation of the Amityville Tide Logo Survey results by our Director of Health, Physical Education, and Athletics, Mr. Evan Farkas. This has been an ongoing process, and tonight he's going to let us know where we are, where we've landed, what the voices and feedback have been in the process. Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to present tonight, which is hopefully the final stage of our logo, and I'm hoping that tonight we could come to an agreement so that we have a logo moving forward. So these were the 12 options that we had provided on our logo survey to the community. We presented this at the last Board of Education meeting. During our feedback, the breakdown of participants are as follows. You can see we have community members, students, parents, and staff members who participated. If you take a second, you can see what the breakdown was. The survey was up and running for about 2 to 3 weeks. And so here are the results. So the logo that best represents the identity of Amityville, you can see the 4 that finished with the top votes. I'll go through them slow so you take an opportunity to look at them. That best captures the strength and energy of the Tide mascot with the same results as the previous slide. Most clear and recognizable. You see there's a little change at the bottom. Top 2 remain the same. Simplest and most visually clean. Once again, the top 2 remain the same. Best on uniforms and apparel. You see the theme, the top 2 remain the same. Third one also. Works best across all schools and different programs within the school district. And most likely to stand the test of time. You can see the top 2 are very popular. Number 1 remains the same throughout all of it. The most important factors that people put is school pride, simplicity, versatility, strength and tradition, and you can see how many responses to each category. And here are the key takeaways. Logo 1 was the clear overall favorite across all categories. Logo number 6, which I'll show you in another second, also consistently performed as the strongest. It was number 2 in all of the different categories. And then logo number 11 appeared in the top 4, I believe, in all the categories. You can see what was important. It was school pride, readability, versatility, and a simple format. And people emphasize the identity of athletics while also respecting Amityville tradition. And the plan is, once the logo is approved, we will then finalize the format. We will create what is known as a mascot, almost like a cheat sheet, where we'll provide everyone with the different colors. So when people go and use the logo, they'll know if a vendor, or if you go to a screen printer and they ask what color, you'll know exactly what color to use. We're going to have one that on there that's approved that just says Amityville Tide, and then we have an actual logo. So it will be a whole sheet that we will share with the school community, that if they ever wanted to use the logo, they'll be able to do that, so that we could start having all of the logos within the district unified. And here are the top 4 overall designs. So right there, top logo number 1 was first overall. Logo number 6 in the top right was second. Logo 11 was third, bottom left. And logo number 5 was the 4th overall. And those are the 4 that I present to you today.
Thank you, Mr. Foster. Does anyone have any questions about the results of this one?
No questions. Just thank you for putting everything together. And I'm happy that the one that I was favoring is the favorite among everybody, it seems like. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I won't say which one was my favorite. Have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to move along at this point in time. If there is any community input on agenda items only.
Hi, Wendy Canestra.
Hold on 1 second, please. Okay, go ahead.
Hi. Okay, a couple of things. I don't see any of these policies. They're not in this. They're not what's given to the community. I didn't see it online either. This continues to be an issue that the community is not seeing.
So, there's some on the table now, I believe, that's what the purpose is stating.
It's almost 8:30. The meeting started at 7:30, so they just got there. So we didn't have time to review it. But I did watch the policy committee meeting, the last one, and I have to say about the hiring policy, it's deeply troubling that you want to change and take away the safeguards that happened. If you approve it, I would encourage you not to approve it. The whole purpose was to bring neutrality and nonpartisan and make it a more neutral committee where all stakeholders have a voice. The superintendent reviewing resumes first removes that impartiality, and maybe the best candidates might not even make it to the committee. So I would encourage you not to do that. That's not in the best interest of the district. The other thing is, I see a lot of annual appointments on here. Annual appointments should be made at a reorg meeting, unless there's some dire emergency reason. I'm sorry, excuse me, I'm sorry, this is falling. That's why it's like falling out of its spot. Okay. So as far as the appointments are supposed to be made at the reorg meeting, unless there's some urgent matter that has to be done now. So what I find is there's just not protocol like in other districts where that's normal to have it at reorg. We're always jumping ahead. Your board is changing no matter what, whoever gets elected. Somebody will take a seat tomorrow, whoever that may be, but again, this should be waiting until reorg.
Thank you.
Okay, and also, just one thing about the policies, that is problematic, that almost 8:30 it came when people have been here since 7:30, they weren't able to review it. I know, in speaking to council too, it should be online so that people can read it, have questions, it should be redlined or highlighted, so the community knows what the proposals are. This has been discussed many, many times.
It will be addressed when we get to that item. We're not gonna vote on anything tonight.
No, I know there's a first meeting, but the thing is that this has
It's
come up
gonna be
so
taken
many
care
times and there's been no correction. The community has a right to see what the changes are.
Yes, we'll be taking care of it. Thank you. Any other community comments on, no, on the item?
Good evening, Theo Wolf, President of the Amityville Teachers Association. First and
Can you
foremost-
hold on a second, please? You got it? Okay, go ahead.
First and foremost, thank you for the appointments to all of those who were granted tenure this evening. There were everybody in attendance this evening worked extremely hard in order to make sure that they got to this point. They not only appreciate the trust that it is that you have in them, but they also appreciate the fact that you have acknowledged their hard work in reaching this milestone. Unfortunately, I will be a little bit remiss if I didn't mention the fact that of the 13 honorees that received this milestone this year, or got to this milestone this year, we had 9 people confirmed to come tonight and pretty much over 24 guests who wanted to join the celebration. And that was as of last Wednesday. Many individuals made commitments to be present so that they can be here and celebrate with their loved ones. And unfortunately, those individuals were not able to make it this evening due to the reschedule. We understand that the board wanted to reschedule this as soon as possible, but I can't ever remember a time where it is that a tenure meeting has ever been rescheduled on the day of or canceled the day of. In the 26 years that I've been here, I can't remember something like that ever happening. Now, I do understand that things come up, and I would like to think that this had nothing to do with anything else other than, situations and circumstances. But I find it extremely ironic that that you hear sentiments about the board rushing to get appointments moved on and passed, when there wasn't that same consideration to make sure that we had a quorum of individuals to be able to be here for tenure. I think that everybody who is here tonight is here tonight because of the fact that they wanted to make sure that those individuals who were going to be honored for tenure were going to be able to receive that. But I do question when we have something like tenure, which is something that should be sacrosanct in our school district, one of those occasions. I wonder whether or not people are not going to be able to allow their political or differences impact the ability to understand that we are all one staff and one community. So I hope that moving forward, whoever it is that is sitting up there keeps that in mind, because many teachers were extremely disappointed at the fact that not everyone could be here to celebrate on the original tenure appointment meeting.
Thank you. Any other community input on agenda items? Seeing none, I'm gonna move along. Can I have a motion for agenda item 2A1 and 2A2, please?
Motion.
Chris Nair is first, Leslie Clark is second. Any questions on these, 2 items? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor? Aye, motion carries 4-0. For agenda item 2B1 through 7, please continue to review the policies. And at our next meeting, we will have the policies on for either the 3rd reading for some of them, and for the other will be we have a motion for agenda item 2C1 and 2C2.
Motion.
Carol C. Hope is first, Leslie Fretz is second. Any questions or comments on these 2 agenda items? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Motion carries 4-0. Approval of the district logo. So I'm gonna go with the number 1. Can I have a motion for logo number one. So, the motion for agenda item 3A1 for approval of the district logo, which is logo number one.
Motion.
Chris Darius first, Carol C. Hawkins second. I would say that, let me correct this second. I would say that, I think the voices have spoken, and they clearly have identified that preference is logo number one, so I support logo number one as well.
I think we would be foolish to go against the clear thinking.
Yeah. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries 4-0. Congratulations, we have a new logo. You have a motion for agenda item 3A2, please.
Motion.
Chris Darius first. Rosie Swenson second. All those in favor? Aye, motion carries 4-0. Can I do agenda items 3B1, A through C? And then 3A, 5A through 5KK? All together, we'll do it first. Yeah. So 3B, 1A through C. 3A, and it's 5A through 5KK. So can I have a motion for those items, please?
Motion.
Carol C. Hope is first, Chris Darius second. Any questions regarding these agenda items? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries 4-0. Can I have a motion for agenda item 6A down to 6B. So a motion for 3B, 6A through 3B, 6A, A. I'm sorry, BBB.
Motion.
Second.
Chris, Carol Silver first, Chris Darius second. Any questions on these agenda items? Hearing seen none, all those in favor? Aye. Carol, aye. Motion carries 4-0. Can I have a motion for, can I do agenda items 8A through E, 9A through I, 10A through G, all together. So 8, so it's gonna be 3B, 8A through E, 9A through I, and 10A through G.
Motion.
Chris Darius first. Now, see you on the second. Any questions on these agenda items? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries 4-0. You have a question? I did all the way down. I went to B. Went to 4B. I did 4B. Yeah, I did 4B. Yeah. Can I have a motion? Can I do agenda items 3C1 and 3C4 all together, because then one will be done separately? Can I have a motion for agenda items 3C1 and 3C4, please? Chris Harris first, Leslie Crest is second. I do have a question with the budget transfer. This is, you know, you just speak to that? Okay.
Sure.
There are two transfers we're recommending, one of which is move money from the tax anticipation note interest line to the judgment and claims line. And the reason for that is we have had an arbitrage calculation done by our bond counsel. And bond counsel has found that of the $285,000 in interest that we earn on the money that we borrow, 102,000 of it must be repaid because we did not use all of the funds within the timeline prescribed by the law. We must use funds that we borrow. We must use 90% of the funds within the first 3 months, and we did not meet that deadline. So we did this calculation. It's not a penalty. It's just a refund of the interest that we earn above and beyond what we were allowed to borrow. The federal government has an interest in not allowing us to take money from the federal government that would normally be taxable and use it for our own purposes unless we meet their requirements. And one of the requirements is spend all the money, 90% of the money within 3 months. The other transfer is natural gas. What happened was that because we had an exceptionally hard winter this year, we used more natural gas than we had anticipated. And Alberina and I worked on finding the codes in the budget where we had money that we could transfer to cover that. So we're moving $140,000 from those 3 codes into the natural gas.
Thank you. Does anyone else have any questions on any of the items? For both of them. For both of them.
2 power racks and 4 weightlifting bars for the weight room.
Any other questions regarding the item? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 4-0. Can I do 3D1 and 2 together? Have a motion for agenda item 3D1 and 3D2. Carol Seahawk is first, Chris Neal is second. Any questions on these items? All those in favor? Motion carries 4-0. Can I have a motion for agenda item 3E1? 3E1A, I should say, excuse me, through 3E1GG. Chris Neal is first, Leslie Price is second. Legal, all these contracts have been reviewed.
Yes.
Thank you. Anyone have any questions on these contracts? All those in favor? Aye, motion carries 4-0. Can I have a motion for agenda items 3F1 and 2? Chris Neal is first.
Second.
Carol Seahawk is second. Any questions on these? I do have what, so the scope that will be starting.
It's the month of July.
And it will run for,
It's the morning only, 9 to 12.
and for what grade again?
Paper.
Thank you. Any other questions in regards to these items? Seeing all those in favor? Aye, motion carries 4-0. Any old business or new business? I do have this one reminder for board members. There was an email that was sent out to all the board members about the schedule for the superintendent evaluation. Please review those dates because we need to adhere to those dates. Any other older new business? At this time, community input on non-board agenda items only.
Hi, yeah. Wendy Castro, Amityville. So I picked up the policies at the back table and I went through them and I noticed that some of them are marked up, so thank you for doing that. I noticed that student records is in this packet, but it's not listed on the agenda. Is that supposed to be?
At this time, no.
Okay, that was included in the packet. The second thing is the hiring committee policy is not marked up at all. So everything else is marked up except the hiring committee policy. So again, the community has no idea what your changes are. I happen to know because I was on the policy committee meeting, plus I tuned in. So I'm just going to point this out for anybody that doesn't know. When I was on the board and we did the hiring policy, we had a member of each union, so it was 7 union members that could attend and 5 community members. What's different here is they're going to pick 5 community members, but they're only going to limit 2 on the committee at a time. So you're actually shrinking the community's voice, marginalizing their input. We want more community input, not less of community input. So that's that. The second question that I have is, as far as the board and their official spokesperson, I'm curious to know if you've designated Trustee Nearing as your spokesperson, because he's writing on Facebook and it says Chris Nearing, second vice president of the Board of Education, and releasing statements, but not identifying it as his individual statement. So I just want to know, it's labeled as that. Have you designated him to be your spokesperson?
Comment on it?
Good.
So if you look on the description of the page, it states that it is my personal opinion and not a statement of the school district or the Board of Education.
But I would ask council to review this. You don't have to do it now, but it does distinguish second vice president of the Amityville Board of Education. So by doing that, you're identifying yourself and almost, trying to position your opinion to way more than just a regular person by putting that label on. I've trained a lot of boards of education and, can you post on social media? Certainly, but the rule of thumb is just because you can doesn't mean you should. I'm asking council to please look at that. Thank you.
Thank you, but I think also just keep in mind that any other community input on agenda items, non-existent. All right, thank you. Thank you. So she was just stating that the policy that's in there was in there because it was being referenced in another policy. That's not that it's been part of it. Thank you. Any other community input on non-agenda items?
Good evening, Caroline Fanning. My question for Mr. Dragon. If the tax levy increase were to go anything above 1.56%, would it take supermajority or just a simple majority for the budget to pass?
Dr. Talbot.
It would take,
Just kind of speak to the mic, please.
it would take a supermajority. It would require 60% of the voters to approve any increase above 1.56%.
Okay, so in essence, 1.56% is the tax cap.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for clarifying. Tuesday says the same thing. Unfortunately, the residents who received the district's newsletter, which I believe is everyone in Amityville, think 2.23% is a tax cap because the newsletter states The proposed budget carries a tax levy increase of 1.56%, which is below the district's allowable cap of 2.23%. I posted about this on Facebook over the weekend. Today, the district issued a statement in response to, quote, misinformation on social media, as they call it. But the district statement affirms that the tax cap is 1.56%. So the fact is, the misinformation is on the district newsletter, not social media or my posts. Dr. Talbot?
Mr. Drago, could you clarify at the time, the original posting of that tax cap by newsday, the timing of the budget letter was as such?
Sure. So when the community last year approved the levy of, I've forgotten exactly what the number was, but there was a reserve that had to be used to reduce the levy. It was approximately $400,000 because the energy performance contract was not awarded. And therefore, the exclusion that the district took for the energy performance capital project was disallowed. We had to use that money to reduce the levy.
As I explained in my social media posts.
So, can you just let Mr. Drago finish? Thank you.
So the levy increase of 2.23% that the controller reported in his report was misleading in that that levy was never imposed on the community. The levy that was imposed on the community was 1.56% less than the levy we're trying to impose next year.
For all intents and purposes, when the community think of the levy, they think of what's the limit that can be imposed before you need a supermajority. And actually, I'm really happy that the policies were printed because I just read your budgeting policy and said it has to be put in plain language. So the plain understanding and the plain language that the community understands is anything above whatever the levy is what requires a supermajority. That's not what people understand when they got the newsletter. And I know this for a fact because I've had people say to me, the budget leaves plenty of room. They could have levied more if they wanted to. That's what community members think. They think that you could have levied much more and still only required a supermajority. That is not that is not the proof. So that is why I tried to clarify. I do have another question, and it pertains to the $500,000 increase in the budget's projected local revenue. This caught my eye because in March, Mr. Dragone explained that this year's budget would require $500,000 in ERS reserves, even though, in his words, reserves should only be used in extenuating circumstances. I had the opportunity to follow up and ask what are the extenuating circumstances at the May 4th meeting at the Holy Trinity Baptist Church in North Amityville. And his answer was, it's because we can't pierce the tax cap. Now, when I think of extenuating circumstances, I think of pandemics and floods and terrorist attacks, all of which we've seen. But I don't think of a district's inability to pierce the tax cap. 2 days after that meeting, a new presentation appeared on the board's website, and the $500,000 from the ERS reserve that was included as part of our revenue appears to be gone. It's just fund balance, but suddenly there's an additional $500,000 in projected local revenue. So where did that come from?
$100,000 in local revenue. It is the result of the finding by the state education department that our school lunch fund balance was in excess of allowable limits. We have such a successful school lunch program that we actually have more than 3 months worth of operating expenses in our fund balance, in the school lunch fund balance. or we're required by the state education department to diminish it so that we have no more than 3 months of operating expenses in the school lunch fund balance. What we're doing with that $600,000 is buying new serving lines for 2 of our cafeterias. We're renovating the wall in the space. We're putting in a walk-in freezer in the high school. And all of that is included in the transfer to capital line within the budget.
This is ringing a bell. I think it was at that same May 4th meeting that I recall hearing about lunch fund. However, at that same meeting, you were still talking about the need to use ERS reserves.
Yeah, we are using approximately $310,000 of ERS reserves because the current projection of unexpended funds in this year's budget, the current projection, is that we will have approximately $2.5 million unexpended. In order for us to stay under the tax cap of 1.56%, we needed to make that number approximately 2.8 something. And that's why we took an additional $310,000 from the ERS reserve, which is together between those two less than the $2,954,000 that was used in last year's budget to balance it.
Why would you not just take it from the unassigned fund balance?
Well,
You're just trying to plug a hole. Why do you need it from the ERS?
That's a possibility that we could do that as well. However, the difference is that unassigned fund balance could be used for any purpose. And I would prefer, my recommendation to the board is that we use unassigned fund balance for emergency situations like a boiler or a roof collapse, etc., that we had not anticipated. The ERS reserve can only be used to pay ERS liability.
Okay,
So when
so
we
you,
build the budget, if the ERS liability is $1 million, we're asking the taxpayers to fund $690,000 of that, and our reserves to fund the remaining $310,000.
okay. I compared the two presentations. The March presentation and the one that followed that meeting, and those details are not spelled out. However, it sounds like you're using ERS reserves in this year's budget, correct?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, we did not use them last year when I was on the board, when we were still trying to recover from a deficit. And I'm pretty sure we did not use them the year before when I was an audience paying attention. So I just want to, repeat what you just said. We are using ERS reserves which we have not used recently. Therefore, we are increasing our allowance on reserves, not decreasing them.
No. The
Reserves,
statement,
not unassigned fund balance.
the statement was, we are reducing our reliance on fund balance and reserves. We are reducing, let me say that again. We are reducing our reliance on fund balance and reserves. Last year it was $2,954,000. This year it's $2,870,000. That's a reduction.
It is a reduction. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. I just want to say, we did receive, the policy committee received an email from one of the members of the hiring committee. And I just want to acknowledge that we did receive it and we have read our email. The email was shared with the board. Any other community input on non-agenda items? Seeing none, can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting at 8:44?
Motion.
All those in favor? Thank you for coming in.